Just give me a second. Ain't nothing like same old beat. Ain't no change in me. Same old beat. Ain't no change in me.
Mom and daddy, this for y'all. Love y'all. For real.
For real. All right. All right. Let's get to it. No drunk drivers. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? No drunk drivers. Man, as y'all can see by the title, parole denied. The bozo parole has been denied. Let me sit for a second, man. Oh, I think I already did that. I'm sorry, my bad. Sometimes you have to take in the aura, the essence, bask in the ambiance of a victory. Small victory, but a victory nonetheless. All right. Man, got some stuff I want to get into. I thought about what I was going to say during this time period, and I thought about it some more, and I have to be consistent, as in kind of like what the song say, the same old G, same Brian. Meaning, I got to give you the real. I don't go in depth too much at times because of the emotional wear and tear. You can wear people down. But I have to kind of take you behind the scenes on what it is and what we go throughout this ordeal, right? And for those who don't know, this is going to be ongoing. Each year, we're going to have to present our case to ensure that Veronica Rivas stays locked up. And what I mean by presenting the case, like I said, I thought about how I was going to explain it, but I think just being real and being straight up, transparent is the best way because that's how I give it up. So this is what I wrote, right? I wrote this, and I'm going to read it to you all. Before I read it, I'm going to set the scene. What they do is they call and they'll send an email, they'll call you to contact you so that you can present what they call, I think it's still labeled as a victim impact statement, meaning the impact that it has on the victim. And you, as the victim, this is your chance to explain to the decision makers, how it made you feel, how you're feeling currently, and they will take whatever you say into consideration while they deliberate on their judgment on whether or not the defendant is granted parole. Right? And so far, I want to say each year, I think there's been a different individual. Now, as I explained, there's going to be jewels in this thing because that's the way I like to give it up. I like to educate, I like to inform. One of the mottos that I live by, one of the creeds, I want to say it came from James Brown. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And a lot of times, if you follow that motto, you can accomplish most of the goals that you set out to achieve. Knowing what I know about this process, I was expecting for there to be a different individual. That's key because let's say if I go in there with the same rhetoric, statements, and deliver it nonchalant, they're going to be analyzing that. And they may take that as, well, that person, it seems like they've come to grips with what transpired. And if they're cool with it, I think it's time that maybe we move forward in a different direction. So it is my job, my duty, and others as well. I can only explain from my perspective, but I'll get to the others as well because they're all included in this. But as a father, right, husband, right? Oh yeah, see, and these are the key words. Because if I was to go by what was taught, if I go by what was taught and what is taught, the passion that I'm able to convey messages, it may not be, it may be lessened, but I don't want to get too much into that part because that's not what this is all about. But I do, like I said, I'm gonna be dropping jewels, dropping them jewels, dropping jewels. And that's why I had that song, Same OG, because I can only be me. I have to move. I move in a certain manner. Um, I can say it, but it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually do it. So, knowing that there was potentially is going to be a different person overseeing this process, I have to present to them. I took that, it's my duty, it's my task of the titles that I held to make sure that message is conveyed so that they are able to empathize, as in see it through my shoes, the victim's shoes, see it through Miss Murder's shoes. This is another victim, right? But like I said, this is all in here. And that they can feel that. And so when they deliberate, it's gonna be me on that shoulder. It's gonna be Murders on that shoulder. It's gonna be all the supporters. Everybody gonna be on that shoulder, tapping. Hey, 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 hey. Make sure you make the right choice, right? And so that's what led me to write what I wrote, and I want to share that with you all. So let's get into it, and then I'll break down other things as well. I first thank them uh, for the time that they took to hear me out. It's all strategy at this point. You got to think. That's what I led with. So I thank them for their time. And then I explained to them that there was something that I wanted to present. I explained to them also that I wanted to condense the information because I didn't want it to be ongoing, even though I could, because I'm very great at writing. But I wanted to make it as condensed as possible, but also be very impactful. So that was my mindset going into that, and how I was able to craft what I'm about to read, and that was part of my presentation. Like I said, Jules, Jules, Jules. And I started with Veronica RIvas opted to not go to trial. I wanted to go to trial. It is my belief that she chose not to go to trial because she knew the odds of her winning were not in her favor. Instead, she received a lenient sentence of being charged, convicted of killing two people. Concurrent instead of a non concurrent sentencing, which could have totaled to upwards of 30 plus years. Veronica RIvas, just for clarity purposes, is the guilty party. Here is a short list of the totally innocent parties who receive life sentences. Braylon Joseph, at the time of being killed, was 3 months old. Never played a video game. Never played a sport. Never got a chance to make friends. Never ran on a playground. Never ate candy. The list goes on and on. He did, however, watch cartoons such as Roo Bear and Friends, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because those were the ones that I grew up on. With that being said, Braylon Joseph, no criminal record, at 3 months old, received a life sentence from Veronica RIvas. Shayla Joseph, at the time of being killed, was 36 years of age. She served in the military under the Texas National Guard. completed her associate's degree at College of Mainland, completed her bachelor's degree at the University of Houston Clear Lake, and was prepping to go back to complete her master's degree. Then she was killed by Veronica RIvas. Shayla never got the chance to raise her only child, bring him to school, celebrate birthdays with her only child and family. Never got to see her son graduate. Never got to celebrate her 10-year wedding anniversary. The list goes on and on. With that being said, Shayla Joseph, no criminal record, at 36 years of age, received a life sentence from Veronica RIvas. Murders Edwards, Shayla's mother, lost her only child. Murders, Miss Murders, I don't know, that's the way I call it. I mean, let me stay on track. Miss Murders retired from UTMB and was looking forward to being a part of her only grandchild life. Miss Murders, no criminal record, received a life sentence by losing her only child, Shayla, and only grandchild, Braylon, forever. Brian Joseph, myself, at the time of my entire family being killed, was 36 years of age. I served in the military under the Army for 4 years, completed my associate's degree from College of the Mainland, completed my second associate's degree from College of the Mainland. Me and Shayla were prepping to buy our first house together. Then our entire family was killed by Veronica RIvas. I never got the chance to raise my only child, teach him self defense, be his first coach, groom him to be a respectable young man in society. Shayla was my only wife, was and is my only wife. Braylon was and is my only child. Brian Joseph, that's me. No criminal record. Receive a life sentence on February 28th, 2018. There's not a day that goes by when I don't think about them. And the last part, I kind of just went off, freestyled it, and I just have it here in closing. And so that was my cue to just bring it home. And I kind of reiterated how Veronica was just by how the courts set it up, she was able to opt into not going to trial. Therefore, receiving that, it gave her a greater chance of receiving a lenient sentence because she didn't. If she would have went to trial, she would have received that a more harsh sentence, right? And I went on to explain some other things, and I drove the point home. At the end of this meeting, it's my first time meeting this lady. Also, before I get to her reaction, I wore my army shirt. See, when you're conveying a message, certain affiliations that does assist in making what you're saying more impactful. You have to understand that these people, and just in general, once again, I'm dropping messages, dropping jewels. You have to understand when you first meet someone, you don't have time to explain your whole life story so that they can get feel of what type of person you are. So you have to condense that into that short into a short amount of time so that they can um I guess it opens the doorway and the pathway to greater and better understanding, because if you paint the picture the correct way, they're able to ingest all of your wording without any type of hesitation or scrutiny, you know. So I wore that, and lo and behold, she was actually a former veteran as well. She was a former veteran as well. So we started talking about military stuff before the meeting even started. Connection, message. So you can't be wasting your time out here, especially to the youth, wasting your time. You gotta network, build, stay forward thinking, stay goal orientated. I had no idea that the person who I was going to be speaking with was former military, right? And that's why I also included that in the speech that I gave, that Shayla was former military. I believe that that does have an impact, right? Certain networking and who you associate yourself with, how you're moving and grooving. Now back to let me go ahead and wrap this part up. So at the end, um, it got emotional. The lady who I never met before in my entire life was emotional. I can tell. And she told me the process and that they will deliberate what was said. They were going to go over it. And she thanked me for my descriptive way of conveying this message, because she told me that it's one thing to read about the case and then you pretty much what they have are the legal jargon, legal wording on what transpired. That doesn't paint the full picture. So at the end, she was like, "Okay, I get it now." Even though she got it before, was able to drive it home with the words that was written. And I wrote those words because I wanted to be prepared if there was a different individual, but I always wanted to be prepared. I don't want to go into any type of function or business, any type of business that I have to conduct. I don't like being unprepared because that breeds failure, right? That breeds failure. And so we said our goodbyes, and she told me that by Friday, more than likely, they would return, reach back out to me with the whatever the results or their verdict. And so on Friday, they hit your boy back and said parole was denied. Denied. Right. And that's why I'm here now. And I have to do these things from time to time to let you all know. I like to joke and do all that stuff because that's still me. That's why I played that song, same OG, because I'm still me. But I gotta let you know something. Hey, it's still real out here. It's still real out here. Um, so before I continue on, just want to thank you all for your support. Whoever participated in the what is it, what's the protest letters? Yeah, whoever participated in the protest letters, hey, thank you Salute to you all. That helps, and we're going to need that and continue to need that as we move forward in this thing. Is right. Each year it's going to get harder, more difficult, and more difficult because eventually, just realistically speaking, she will make parole one day. But we want to make that process as difficult as possible. It's like I already communicated, just because for informational purposes, there may be some people of a certain mindset of, well, hey man, how long you think's enough? I mean, come on, man, it wasn't her. She didn't do it on purpose and all that other stuff. Well, all right, yeah, okay, you can go by that narrative, but I will counter that by saying, um, her irresponsible acts. She was the one that was totally irresponsible, right? That caused two people to get killed, lose their life, right? She's the one that had the choice to go to trial or not. It wasn't our choice. I wanted to go to trial. I wanted her to receive the concurrent sentences to where she can get that full 40 years or something like that. She was the one that had the option to not go to trial. She did that because she ran away from it, right? The easier path. She got that choice. Shayla and Braylon didn't get that choice. They received life sentences. Miss Murders received the life sentence. I received the life sentence, right? So to the softies out there, hey, you can miss me with all that. That's gonna go through one ear out the other. I ain't trying to hear it. Not trying to hear it. And now I'm finna get off into a little something different. I'm not going to stray too far off, but while I'm on the subject matter of being, or kind of like pulling you behind the curtain, behind the scenes, is this right here. What you're seeing right now, seeing me in front of a camera on these social media platforms, and why it is not as successful as some people may thought. Even though I thought too early on. Just know that it's not due to lack of effort, and this is where the behind the scenes come into play. And I'm not here to um, try to just what's the. I don't want. It's not like I'm trying to talk down or be negative about other people who do this, right? But I have to give you the behind the scenes so you can get a better understanding of why things are the way it is or the way it is. Uh, when I initially started this, it was a no brainer due to, for one, I didn't want to be talking on the phone all the time. I'm not a big phone talker as it is. And I'm like, how do I get this message out to the masses, to a group? Well, I'm just going to be calling people left and right. Like, nah, I can't do that. Hey, got to get out in front of this camera. Social media is the way to go. And I can also educate and inform new people about what's going on and et cetera, and get their momentum going, and off to the races we go. So I thought, and when you get into it, just like with most things, you start seeing. First, it was a technology thing. My technology that I had was outdated. Some of the equipment I was using was outdated. So now the presentation was off, which can affect the message. So that's one part of it. It takes time to figure out what camera to get, microphone, and for what use. Yeah, everything has a certain specific use for what you're trying to accomplish. You can't just get any camera, you can't just get any microphone. et cetera. Recording program, audio program, all of that stuff is in, that's in play. So I say now I kind of, work my way past that, as you can see. The other part, and this is the part where, hey, I just got to call a spade a spade, not trying to talk down. I thought because of the message, it's a clear message, the story that everybody can relate to, easily relatable, tugs on the heart. Um, it was gonna be, easy peasy. Let's get this thing going. Wrong. You start seeing the others' agendas. Um, some people were deterred from my, I guess, presence and aura, saying that I came across as being angry. You start hearing these key words. He seems like he's mad. He's angry. Um, Political personnel. You start seeing their agenda of not wanting to ruffle the business of alcohol and things of that nature. So that was, I want to say, eye opening, but I expected that because they know what's going on. They have all of the numbers, yet during their campaigns and all these other things, they never have things like this on the agenda. And it's due to business. And it's clear cut. You can see it. They see the numbers, they see all this stuff, but they don't want to tackle it because now you're going to affect business, right? Commercial districts, all this stuff, properties. That's who they're in the bed with. Now the other part is they have these, I guess, uh, people of notoriety, actors, musicians, and all these other folk who saw the story because it was nationwide, worldwide. They saw it. Remember, I was telling you, I got messages from people from the UK, United Kingdom. They hit your boy up. People from over there, people from all across the nation. So I'm like, Houston area with all the stars and all these people, media personalities, entertainers, actors, musicians, and what have you. That's going to be, a home run right there. Get the message out. Good cause. And even, this is the way I was thinking, but I know people don't think this way. But then I got to pull some more of the curtain behind. I was of the mindset that, hey man, this is an easy PR cleanup for you entertainers out there. All you have to do is, hey, I heard about your story, blah, blah, blah. I get up in there and talk what I talk. Good message, good cause. Promoting no drunk driver. That's it. Getting the message out. That's it. No drunk drivers. I don't solicit money, but I'm gonna get to that part because that's the other part I want to get into. So I'm thinking, they have these people who are forward thinkers. That would be an easy way to connect. Wrong. I reached out to damn near anyone you can think of personally. Only way I do know is through social media. I would type out the story, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, click. No response, ignore. Now I know they got trolls and stuff like that, but hence that's why I use my real name and I use my real face, my cover picture, right? That's what they know me from or see me around from. And even in the descriptions of all my social medias, you still see Shayla and Braylon and you see their photos. So you may not see this face, you may not recognize me, but you damn sure saw and you recognize Shayla and Braylon's face. Maybe not all people, but I know most of them. You ain't no way in hell, especially in the Houston area, you're gonna sit here and tell me that you didn't know. No way in hell. When I got people from Illinois and California, uh, man, everywhere, Georgia and shit, um, Arkansas, United Kingdom. I mean, the list goes on, man. If I can just go through all the states and the people who reached out to me, you telling me all of those folks they know about it, but right here in the backyard they don't know. Oh, they know. And so there's a reason behind that because, and it's the other part I want to get into of the money part, right? This thing right here, where you're seeing me broadcast from, this social media, a lot of people use this to make money. I knew that before going into this ordeal or this new task and huge mountain to climb, but I didn't know that that was the driving force of them standing behind this microphone and camera, right? Let me explain. Um, and that's when the dots begin to fully connect. 'Cause I was wondering, I'm like, damn. Well, at the height of all of this, I couldn't even walk outside without a news media sticking the camera in my face and wanting to interview and doing all this. Uh, but I had to. And so, if you all remember that commercial that I shot with NHTSA, I think it's NHTSA or something like that. But that's I forgot what the acronym stands for. National Highway Safety Association or something like that. And they do these commercials and these drives for like um, road safety. So when I did that, at the end, they were like, okay, and no, at the beginning they were explaining about this my story and how they felt compelled to do something. And so I'm like, cool, bet, let's get it going. Let me know when, the time, place, I'll be up there. And they say, all right, yeah, before we get going, we need you to sign this right here. And this is no shot at Nitsa or nothing like that. I'm just telling y'all what go on behind the scenes, and I'm gonna tie that into why there have not been any collaborations. And so what they did was they had this paper, and pretty much I give them the right to go ahead and make the content of whatever commercial they were doing. And then they say at the end, once you sign, you'll get a check. So for me, it was like I think it was $50, something like that. But it was a check. I was like, oh no, man, I don't need your money. It's all good over here, baby. I'm glad you're reaching out so we can go ahead and get this thing going. They were like, oh no, sir, we need you. That's how we're going to complete this transaction. This is how this works. We have to pay for that story. And I said, oh, okay. So I gave them my information and all that, and they sent me it's like a $50 check. And y'all saw the finished product. So let's double back around to the actors and social media people and just social media in general, actors, entertainers, musicians, and why there wasn't any collaborations. The people who are or do have a social media presence, because they do comment on things. When it gains enough traction, they'll comment on it because, like I said, it's easy PR. I thought it was just going to be a home run. So in the social media space, the way this works is kind of the same way of how I did that commercial with NHTSA. When you see people doing interviews, or they're doing interviews like on YouTube and all these things, and they have somebody interviewing them and they get to tell their story, they're not doing that from the goodness of their heart. They're doing it for one because of the traction, right? Because you can drive up your numbers. And for two, somebody's paying. So it's either they reach out and they pay that individual to share their story, and in return, you they get the numbers, and then which leads to revenue from promotional services, promotional revenue, because you're bringing traffic to that channel, right? You also have, this is the flip side, you also have people selling and shopping their stories so they can reach out to these stations and other social media influencers or people of high notoriety, shopping their stories so they can get a check. So you got the people with the stories and you have the people with the platforms both doing it for checks. And here I am when I was out there, quote unquote, shopping the story, but it wasn't for money. I'm telling these people, hey, man, that's what it is. Want to get the message out there, yada, yada, yada. No drunk drivers trying to save lives. That's pretty much how I went into it. And then I would give them the spiel or the description of, what happened on February 28th. And I would get stonewalled. Right? No response. And they know who the hell I am. I know they know. Most. I don't want to say all, but they know, goddammit. They know. Can't tell me. Not when I can go into a regular medical visits, and then they go, oh, your name, and it happened more than once. This is medical visits, annual checkups, which you all should be doing each year. Message. Oh, yeah, you need to get your checkup each year. Get your blood work done. What the hell you waiting on? Don't wait till you start getting sick and then want to, oh, help me, and doing all that. No, stop running from the smoke. Get your ass in the hospital and do your checkups and stay on it. But anyway, message. So that's when I started, I kind of put two and two together and figured out the game. I, for one, have not asked for money, and I'm not making money or because you hear people talk about this on social media. Oh man, watch what you say because I'm not going to be able to monetize this content. Yeah, so I had to educate myself about this world. And this world I'm navigating up in, this social media thing. Yeah. So most of these people out here, they're out here for monetization, is what I'm telling you. This over here is just getting the message out. That's it. And whatever it goes from there, it just goes from there. But this is not for monetization. I've never monetized anything since I've been on this social media journey. I'm thinking there will be other like-minded individuals to where you can get a message out, educate the people, et cetera, and have it swell from there. Mm-mm. And so that's what, when I got that parole denied, it made me just think that, man, I can only be me. Meaning, that's why I played that song, that I'm not, pretty much stating that I'm not changing. So no, you're not going to see me peddling things. And there's nothing wrong with people who use it for that. I get it. I understand that. But just in general, I can only give you my perspective. No, you're not going to see me switching my tune, changing my stance, thinking, oh man, enough time that went by, let it go, what you're doing now. I move by a different creed. I have different type of morality. Not perfect, but the cloth that I'm cut from, it doesn't change. Same old. That's why I put that song on there. I'm the same OG, the same OB, the same guy. And I stand on my morals and principles. Hence, this is why I can still talk about my family 6 years later the way that I do and the way that I've moved uh, on the scene and behind the scene. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine. And this is just by talking to people in general. I can only imagine if there was somebody else in these shoes right here, how that shit would have been turning out. Oh my goodness. Talk about turmoil. Oh, oh. That's why I be preaching on, I don't want to say preaching, but really just trying to put y'all on game. When you do get married, be careful who you marry because it matters. It matters in life and it matters in death. That's real deal. That's real deal. It matters in life and it matters in death. Oh no, it ain't over. It's not over just because somebody passed. I know what's been written and I know what you've been taught. That's the other part. I don't want to go too deep in that side right there. I know what's been written and I know what's been taught. Trust me, if you move in that manner, turmoil. It's not me knocking any type of beliefs or anything like that. Um, but every now and then, yeah, man, I just have to let it be known. And you have to tell the truth. That's the only way people are going to learn from certain experiences. And that's what this thing, that's what I want to do. So for me to convey messages and in order for people to learn, I got to be truthful. But yeah, man, this social media thing, it's for money. They shopping the interviews or they buying the interviews. It's not just for, hey man, good cause. None of that shit exists. So anything that happens from here, it gotta pretty much come from the mud. It gotta come from the mud, from the bottom to the top. That's the only way it's gonna work. I am here for the long haul, so we will see. We shall see how everything turn out. I think I hit on most of the stuff that I wanted to tackle. Um, I was actually I was supposed to be on this thing. I was supposed to do this earlier, but man, I was jamming that. Yeah, now it's gonna go off the rails. I know I was doing good for a while. I was doing good for a while, baby. Now I'm gonna go off the rails. I was jamming that Kendrick Lamar boy, that not like us. Oh, man, that song be making me laugh, boy. But I'm gonna say that for another one because I did good this one. I didn't go off the rails. You see me cracking up now though. I gotta go ahead and end it. I got to end it. I gotta stay serious. I got to end it. But yeah, I'm gonna get into that Kendrick Lamar. I also want to get into Ryan Garcia. Oh yeah, I've been wanting to tackle that. I want to get into it. Mhm. Oh yeah, it's a lot I want to get into. I don't want to. Can they see now my mind working? I gotta stop. Let me go ahead and shut up and end it because I think I conveyed my message pretty good. But yeah, I have to go there sometimes. I have to show y'all that it's real in the field. That we still dealing with it. Um, but hopefully, also just by seeing me and hearing me talk about things, you have been enlightened. Some people some people have been motivated just by my presence. So all of that stuff that keeps me going forward. And of course, hey, I'm riding for my family. Stay riding for Shalem. Stay riding for Braylon. I'm gonna stay riding for my mom, my dad. I'm gonna stay riding for Miss Murtis. I'm gonna stay riding for Mimi and Papa. Yeah, that was that was the fam. And that's forever. Forever and ever. Yeah, that's how they go. But I was saying, I'm a maybe one day I'll get into the way I get down, my morals and creeds and all that other stuff. Yeah, because it does it's helped me through this ordeal. Mm-hmm. I think that's it. Until next time, peace.